Sit back and relax and enjoy the show with Big OG. Like, comment, and subscribe.
All right, DHS posting the mugshot of the son of a high-ranking Iranian official known as Screaming Mary. She worked as the spokeswoman for the terrorists behind the 1979 U.S. Embassy takeover, which included more than 50 Americans held hostage for 444 days. Secretary of State Marco Rubio writing on X, quote, "This week I terminated their lawful permanent resident status." And today, Saeed Asha Hashemi and Mariam Tamasabi and their son are now in custody of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, pending their removal from our country. Her family should never have been allowed to benefit from the extraordinary privilege of living in our country. Former DHS Deputy Assistant Secretary Jonathan Fahey joins me now. Jonathan, this follows news that the niece and grandniece of Qasem Soleimani were living here. The daughter of Ali Larijani, who is the de facto ruler of Iran, was living here and working as a professor. These two individuals were professors as well. And separately, there's an Iranian activist who spoke to the New York Post and said that she has been collecting evidence about these people living in the United States, benefiting from the U.S. and providing that information to the feds. And she says that there are thousands more Iranians with ties to the terrorist regime living in the U.S. And she goes on to say these people can be sleeper cells, and at the right time, they may get activated. They are really rooted in America. And that is why what the Department of Homeland Security or immigration is doing to deport these people is so valid. I mean, she lays it out there, but I'll ask you this question. How big of a threat are these people that we're just learning about now, living in the United States with deep ties to the Iranian regime? How big of a threat is this to all of us?
I think this should be taken very seriously, and it could be a very big threat, and we just don't even know. And that's the interesting thing about it, is how many other people that might not be sort of as well known or as easily identifiable in terms of being connected to the regime be in this country. And I think Secretary Rubio's point was such a great point in that it's an extraordinary benefit to be here. And why did we let people like this in here to begin with? Where was the vetting on that end? But yeah, on the national security end, what he's doing is exactly right. Hopefully it deters others. But there is a concern, and it sort of brings us back to we need DHS open because we need to prevent something bad from happening rather than react to it if something bad does happen.
That's so true. And not just by executive order of the president to pay these important workers, but actually have the department fully open. There's another Iranian activist, Jonathan, who said they are here to influence policy, talking about these Iranians. They are here to steal technology, and that's a national security threat. We are incredibly happy to see the U.S. is finally deporting these regime thugs and sending them back to the very hell that they built for Iranian citizens. I mean, you asked the question, and I'll pose it to you again. Why were these people allowed to come to the United States in the first place?
This just really shows that, you know, I don't know the specifics of each one of these people, but where was our vetting and how are we vetting people that are loyal to the country? Because these are lawful permanent residents, meaning they're on track to get citizenship in the United States. And if you're going to do that, you should be loyal to the United States, not loyal to the Iranian regime or anywhere else. But yeah, it does show really a difference between the Trump policy and the prior policies of other administrations, where the Trump policy is putting America first. And if you aren't loyal or if we don't know, you shouldn't come in. And that's the really scary thing about what's been going on the prior 4 years under the Biden administration, because so much of the people that are here, we just don't know, and that's the worst or the scariest part of it all.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. And, you know, it only makes common sense to take a closer look at this, especially given what's going on right now in the Middle East. So how difficult will it be? Are we being proactive about this in terms of looking at who's been given a green card, doing a real deep investigation into the Iranian Americans, or the Iranians rather, who are here in America right now, and figuring out if they have regime ties, and also people in other adversarial countries who are here?
It does seem like we're being proactive just because of these recent actions by Marco Rubio. And my guess is, or my supposition is, there are other people that aren't as high profile that the same thing may in fact be happening. But hopefully we are proactive on not just the Iranian regime, like you said, but other regimes that may be harmful to us. People need to go. And the most important part is let's stop people coming in that might harm us, because it's a lot harder to kick someone out than to say you can't come in. And I think that's one of the best things this administration's been doing.
Yeah, so far 3 families with ties to high-ranking Iranian officials, and in 2 of those families there were people working as college professors, which is another through line that should not be ignored. Former DHS Deputy Assistant Secretary Jonathan Fahey, we thank you so much for your time on this very important and concerning topic.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.